Hello everyone, it is Friday. We're back on the channel today with another Football Manager 2017 experiment. We're back with West Ham United, as we can see on the screen, and we've got another experiment with them coming up today. We've got Javier Hernandez, who is on the verge of making a £16 million move to West Ham pending a medical. Both clubs have agreed a £16 million fee, and it looks like Chicharito is on his way back to the Premier League in the shape of West Ham United. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to go into the game. We're going to go in and put Javier Hernandez from Leverkusen. We're going to transfer him to West Ham, his new club, which we'll do here. And we'll put in a transfer fee of £16 million, which is pretty much what it's going to be. So as we can see here now, Hernandez is now a West Ham United player. He's going to be a very potent attacking threat. His best role is an advanced forward. He's also quite good as a poacher. Can double up as a complete forward though. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, we did that Arnautovic experiment on the channel a couple of days ago. And it looked like West Ham were just struggling to score goals. They had a relative amount of chances, but they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and I think Hernandez could be the kind of guy that manages to do that. He scored 17 goals in 28 appearances for Leverkusen in the game. Overall, he scored 28 goals in 54 appearances for Leverkusen in his spell there since 2015. He did used to play for Manchester United, scoring 37 goals in 103 games for them. Before that, he had a loan spell at Real Madrid, scoring 7 in 23, and he's a very, very potent attacking threat. He's capped many times for his country. He scored plenty of goals. He's got good mental stats, good technical stats, relatively decent physical stats. I mean, he's not the most physical player in the world, but he can handle himself. But his mental and technical stats are pretty decent, to be honest. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to skip a year into the future. We're going to see how this West Ham side get on in the Premier League this time. This time around for this experiment, they are predicted to finish 10th. Slaven Bilic, again, is the manager. They've got Joe Hart in goal. I've put that loan move through, which wasn't in the Arnautovic episode. We've also got, obviously, Arnautovic hasn't come to the club as yet. So what we'll do also is we will put Arnautovic in the team also, who is, because he's going to be in the side pretty much. He's another one pending a medical. So we'll move him to West Ham. And we'll put a fee in of 24 million. I mean, it might be a little bit more, a little bit less. So he's now in the side also. Snodgrass is there and a few other guys. So let's skip a year into the future then, people, and see what Javier Hernandez can do for West Ham. Bearing in mind, they're set to finish 10th on the media prediction. Well then, a year into the future we've gone, and West Ham were predicted to finish 10th, the media prediction, and they've done exactly that, finishing in 10th position on 54 points, 13 points away from Tottenham in 5th, but some way clear of relegation, I presume. Let's have a quick look at the league table. So yeah, as we can see here, Swansea, Crystal Palace and Huddersfield all went down. Huddersfield with a very, very poor 15-point ratio. 35 points to Swansea. West Ham was some 19 points clear of those, up in 10th position. 62 goals for, 61 against, a +1 positive goal difference. Average points per game of 1.42. Let's go into West Ham. See if Slaven Bilic is still the manager, and yes, indeed, he still is the manager of West Ham United. Let's have a look at the squad now, because obviously we want to look at Hernandez, and look at that fantastic output from Hernandez. And look at Mark Noble, 25 assists from 53 games. Now, Hernandez has played 55 games for West Ham this season. He scored 27 goals, 3 assists and 3 man of the matches for a 7.02 average rating, 6.82 from his last 5 games. Really good purchase that. And Hernandez has got good stats. He's scored 16 in 36 in the Premier League, 11 in 16 in the Europa Cup. A fantastic output return that. And now we're going to get rid of the World Cup. We're going to stay domestic and European. So as we can see here, in 55 matches played, they have won 28 games. He's got 3 man of the matches in those games. Average rating is 7.02, a best rating of 7.42. His worst was a 6.1. 367 kilometres covered, 7.5 kilometres average per 90 minutes. 27 goals scored. 147 shots, 80 of which were on target for a 54% on target ratio percentage, 67 off target, 164 minutes on the pitch per goal, 2 penalties taken, 2 converted. Very good shooting that from Hernandez. Now 1.62 shots on target per game, 1.22 dribbles made per game. He made 1,073 passes, 6 of them were key. He succeeded with 73% of his passes, 782 were successful, 291 failed. Average minutes on the pitch per assist, 1,478. He crossed 45 times, completing 4. Average passes completed per 90 minutes of 15.87. And his tackling isn't too bad, for a striker. 39 tackles made in total, 16 won, 41% overall, with 23 lost. Tackles won per 90 minutes of 0.32 with 0.55 fouls per game. I'd say that was a brilliant first season that from Javier Hernandez. He has done really well. He's got really good on-target stats there. Very, very good performance in his first season. 27 goals in 55 games for Hernandez on his first season back in the Premier League. West Ham finished 10th in their first season. I think what we'll do now is we'll go another year into the future and we'll see what Hernandez can do in his second year in the Premier League. Let's see if he can build on that. Let's see if he can get even better. Arnautovic again played a lot of games. We've already done an experiment on him. Do check out the link down below. I'll leave a link in the description to that. He's got 8 goals this time round with 9 assists, 1 man of the match for an average rating of 7.06. So he's obviously linked up really well with Javier Hernandez. And a really good performance as well from Michail Antonio with 14 goals in 49 games with 5 assists. Pretty decent. Again, Pedro Obiang, a really good performance from him. But Hernandez, we're going to go another year into the future and we're going to come back and we're going to see exactly what he can do in his second season in the Premier League. So 12 months further into the future then, let's go in and see how West Ham have done in the Premier League. And they have finished down in 13th this time around with just 42 points, a worse effort than 12 months prior to that. They did, however, finish above relegation zone by 9 points. West Brom, Newcastle and Ipswich all go down, with Arsenal winning the Premier League on goal difference ahead of Chelsea. Let's have a look at West Ham. They scored 51 goals, conceding 64. Let's have a look now at how Javier Hernandez. Now, Roberto Mancini is now the new manager of West Ham. I assume Slaven Bilic was sacked around the Christmas time period. It's generally what happens. And Hernandez has played 32 games, scoring 18 goals, 4 man of the match, and 2 assists, 7.12 last 5 games for a 6.95 overall rating. Let's have a look at his stats, and we can see here we've got 37 matches played, 12 matches won in all competitions, 4 man of the matches, average rating of 6.95, a best rating of 7.07, worst rating of 6.3, 227 kilometres covered, 7.4 kilometres covered per 90 minutes. He had 94 shots at goal, 46 of which were on target. That's 49%. That's down on last year, which I think was around 58%. 48 shots were off target, scoring 18 goals. He had 153 minutes on the pitch per goal, 1 penalty taken, 1 penalty scored, so he's prolific as ever from the penalty spot. He got 2 from 2 last season. Shots on target per game of 1.5 and 1.04 dribbles made per game. He made 659 passes, succeeding with 481, 73% pass succession rate, which is really, really good. That really brilliant. 178 passes failed. 3 key passes in amongst that. He had 1,380 minutes on the pitch per assist. He completed 12 from 52 crosses, an average pass completion per 90 minutes of 15.69. with 0 fouls against, and his tackling, he won 5 from 15, which is 33%, losing 10, making 69 interceptions, and tackles won per game of 0.16, 0.39 fouls per game. I'd say that was a relatively decent return, really, for Hernandez. 18 goals in 29 Premiership games with 4 sub-appearances. You can't really say better than that, really. I think they're probably underperforming somewhat. Let's have a look what the media prediction was 9th. They've finished 13th. I mean, looking at that squad, again, Mark Noble has been brilliant with the assists. We've got Arnautovic playing 30 games, scoring 5, assisting in 3. I think that's a good return for Hernandez, and I think he's going to do well in real life at West Ham. I think it's a really good move for them. I think £16 million is quite cheap, really, for a player of that quality. He's in his late 20s. I think he's around the 28 mark now. He's got form with Manchester United. He's played for Real Madrid. He's played for Leverkusen. So he's experienced in a lot of the top divisions around Europe. And I think that he's going to be a really good sign. He's one of those guys that will put the ball in the back of the net for West Ham. It's something which they've lacked in recent times. And I think he will get on the end of the playmaking efforts of the midfield on Arnautovic if he signs, which he probably will. Lanzini, Obiang, etc. Mark Noble, again, will be ever present in that West Ham team. Aaron Cresswell as well has been fantastic down that left-back position. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Do check out the Marco Arnautovic experiment, which I'll leave a link to in the description down below. We've got the Stowe Bucharest save coming up around 4 o'clock today also, which is going to be of interest. We're through to the Romanian League Cup final. Do check that one out. Subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this and other experiments and you'd like to see more. We're going to wrap this up for today, though. Thanks for watching again, guys, and I'll catch you again soon.